Hello, everyone, and welcome to the semifinals of the StarCityGames.com Baltimore Open Weekend. Cedric Phillips, Craig Krempel's here in the booth. Nick Miller down in the feature match area, taking some notes, getting ready here for our semifinal match between Daryl Ayers and Joe Lossett. It's Lands versus Miracles, and it's a rematch of something we saw a little bit earlier today, Craig, in which Daryl Ayers won a pretty lopsided one.
He did, yeah. He had all the right pieces working for him in that match. We saw the sideboarded, post-sideboard Chalice of the Void just lock up Joe in so many angles. We saw 20/20s. A lot of land destruction in there, just doing everything he does.
Joe looks like he's taken a mulligan. Looks like Daryl has kept 7 cards. Joe scrying to the bottom. They're waiting for the green light. We'll tell them to go. They can rock and roll. And here is a Mox Diamond. That looks to be good. Be surprised if Joe countered that one if he could. Wooded Foothills. Daryl gonna search for a Taiga.
Yeah, doesn't need the basic forest until post board.
Yep. Not worried about Wasteland either from Joe.
Nope. And one thing I just thought about when we're discussing who we think are going to win these matchups, a big part of it, that discussion is usually play draw.
Yeah.
And that really hasn't been a consideration here.
No, not at all.
Obviously, play draw is important in Legacy, but it's really a format of matchups.
Scalding Tarn here from Joe. He's going to search up a basic island, play a Sensei's Divining Top. And that's piece 1 to a very large puzzle here for the set, as Ayers is going to dredge a forest, a Ghost Quarter, and a Maze of It. Here's Exploration. We'll see if this resolves.
He just has it all again.
Appears to be that way.
I think Joe's got to force a will this to make sure that things don't get too out of control here.
It's tough because I think in this matchup, you really want to force crop rotation.
Sure.
I think that's the #1 force target, but at the same time, you don't want him to play more than 1 land a turn.
Well, I think once Life from the Loam is already going with an Exploration in play, the crop rotation doesn't even matter. He's going to dredge up the lands that he's looking for.
Well, Force of Will takes care of that Exploration. Now Joe's going to spend top on his upkeep. The Miracle Man will take a look at a couple different cards here. A Brainstorm, a Volcanic Island, and a Terminus. He'll leave the Brainstorm on top. That'll be his draw step for the turn. There's a Scalding Tarn. He'll pass the turn back. Errors, excuse me. We'll sacrifice a Wooded Foothills. He'll fall down to 18 in the process. And he will find a Taiga.
And he does have the aforementioned crop rotation in his hand, but he's going to be very patient for when he does that.
Gamble the draw. Ayers will cast Life from the Loam. There are lands to get back here. He'll go with a Forest, a Ghost Quarter, and a Wooded Foothills. Lossett wants to write those down, so he will. Loam goes to the graveyard, of course, given its resolution. And now,
you know when it's good to have lots of lands in your hand?
Go on.
When you have Gamble.
I agree. He will try to gamble. Joe Lossett's going to sacrifice a Scalding Tarn.
And if we think he wants Boseiju, the gamble's very similar to the crop rotation.
It really is.
Doesn't matter if it's in his hand or in the graveyard. The Life from the Loam will get it.
Joe, considering spinning the top, maybe casting a Brainstorm. You see the Force Will that's in his hand. He'll play a Brainstorm right now. So 3 cards on the way. Tundra among them. 2 cards, of course, will have to go back. And this is step 1 to the puzzle here for Daryl. We've seen him play against Joe. We saw him play against Gerard just in the quarterfinals. It's about getting Boseiju first. Here's the Force of Will on the gamble.
I'm a little surprised to see Jace get tossed there. Because to me, that's step 1 for Joe winning the game. He needs to get that Jace online and up to 4 mana, cast the Jace, ultimate it as fast as possible.
There's a flooded strand. And Ayers is just going to untap. No crop rotation yet, assuming he has one in his hand. He'll draw a card. Tabernacle, not so much. Ghost Quarter. Pass the turn back.
He's in no rush.
Apparently not.
And this, I'm willing to bet this is going to be the same thing. 2-3 turns from now, we're going to be like, oh.
We see the greater plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ayers is going to show Lossett the lands he does know about. Joe is going to search up a Tundra.
And Joe, not a lot of resources to work with.
No, not really. He's had to force of will, a gamble, and an exploration. And that requires 4 cards total. So he'll spin the top. Terminus among those cards. Looks like he's keeping a brainstorm. Lossett will draw. Will he cast a brainstorm?
And it doesn't look like it, but this is another situation of the proactive deck against the reactive deck. You know, it's going slow here. Daryl doesn't look like he's that close to winning, but he's certainly in a much stronger position.
His start was fantastic.
Yep.
He's got a loam to work with. You see Lossett's going to search up a volcanic island. So there's a lot to like right now if you're Daryl, even though, like you said, it looks kind of slow and anemic at the naked eye.
Yeah.
And that's not the reality.
Yeah.
Here's Brainstorm for Joe.
And that crop rotation, it might even find a card like Wasteland here.
Mm-hmm. 2 cards go back. Brainstorm's unresolving. And now Lossett's going to play a counterbalance. There will be a response. Oh, yeah. Here's crop rotation.
Well, with counterbalance, we don't expect it to be Wasteland anymore.
Yep.
This is what we've seen before.
Yep, there's the Beseiju.
Yep, and he's got plenty of life total to work with.
Yep.
No pressure on the other side.
Probably see him dredge loam now.
I would think so.
When a player has a game plan and they execute said game plan, it can be really beautiful sometimes.
Yeah.
Dredge loam, dredge exploration, Thespian stage. Now it's time for him to start casting loam through Beseiju.
All the deck does is play lands. How is this so unfair? Hey, I'm going to play 1 land a turn for the rest of the game. Yep, can't beat it.
Yeah, that's it. You win, man. You just leave me alone. You win. Here's life in the loam.
And he's saying go ahead and counter this one. Probably don't even have a 2 on top. He's not scared of it.
Yeah.
I'm going to save my life total for when it's more important.
Lossett does not have a 2. Going to get back Thespian stage. Yeah, these are all the lands. Playing the lands face up that Joe knows about. Save everybody a little bit of time here.
Sure.
Ooh, a little mood lighting here.
Yeah, I like this.
In Baltimore. Nice.
Someone actually just carried over a glass of wine for Cedric.
Thank goodness. Nice little glass of Pinot to get me going here.
And a string quartet is coming in.
If they can play Carly Rae Jepsen on a string quartet,
you are not a real person.
I am good to go. I'm good to go then.
See, people at home think that you're joking.
That's not a joke at all.
That is not a joke.
I think the viewers have gotten used to the fact that I'm rarely joking when I talk about stuff. But I will take a glass of Pinot. Crop rotation, grow with the burn willows, and a life in the loam have been dredged. Thespian stage copy to Ghost Quarter. Ah, this strategy again, huh?
Cedric doesn't joke around when it comes to Carly Rae Jepsen.
Or my wine.
Or
them together.
Or the perfect evening.
Yeah. That's how I'll be spending my evening a little bit later tonight in the hotel room. Maybe with a basketball game on in the background.
All right, I'm going to get on my way going home.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea. It's probably a good idea.
Invite for one.
Yeah. It's a bottle of wine for one. That's all mine. A scalding tarn here for Joe. Daryl going to do a little bit of dredging. Punishing fire, seismic assault, Yemble.
Yeah, that punishing fire is a good one to hit too.
Yeah, there are worse cards to hit.
There's so many things just work with this deck. It's almost like they knew what they were doing when they put it together.
Here's a loam that can be countered if you'd like. Just going to get a grow for the burn.
Yeah, one lonely target.
Would you like to counter this? By all means. Joe says that's fine.
Doesn't care about the land. He just wants the loam back in the graveyard so he can keep dredging it.
Yep. Lights are back on.
Lights back on.
Put the wine away.
Party's over. Send the kids home.
Yep. This is a Grove of the Burn Willows. Joe can cross that one off his list. And maybe prepare to take 2 damage a bunch. We'll see.
Yeah, he needs to find a 2-drop to put on top of the deck for the counterbalance.
Spins the top, sacrifices the Scalding Tar. Did not like what he saw. And now Joe's going to fetch up a land and probably spin the top again here.
Yeah, until Joe shows Daryl a 2-drop, Daryl's not paying any life with that Boseiju because he doesn't need to.
Which I think is almost certainly correct.
Yeah.
Totally get what he's up to here.
Yeah, the big issue, even if the games go long and slow like this, the Miracles deck is just not set up to kill people.
He's just not putting any pressure on him. Daryl just gets to keep doing whatever he wants to do. He's basically playing a game of solitaire right now.
Yeah, even if Joe finds a creature, Daryl doesn't care. He'll play one of his other lands if he has to. The Mazeveth.
Yep.
The guy will get lost in the maze. We've said that he's got the Punishing Fire in his graveyard.
So Ghost Quarter's going to resolve here. Now Joe did find a 2 finally. He put a counter. He ordered his top 3 cards: Sensei's Divine Top, Counterbalance, and then Terminus.
Okay.
Daryl said, "I'm going to start Ghost Quartering you now." So Ghost Quarter your Tundra.
That 2 might be gone again.
Yeah. Give you a free shuffle. What a guy. What a guy. So nice of him. Joe will spin the top.
And a basic land.
Yeah.
Daryl loses one of his lands. Joe doesn't. Seems fair.
Yeah. Perhaps he's putting a bigger plan together. Daryl says, not yet. Go after your basic planes with this. Thespian stage, that was a Ghost Quarter. I think we'll see the next loan be uncounterable. Most likely.
Very possibly.
Yeah. Joe will get a basic planes. Basic planes count for Joe is 2.
Yep.
It's about to be 0. Just a little bit. And then those Tundras won't be long for this world.
And then Joe won't be long for this world.
Spin to win here. Trying to find something that does anything if you're Joe Lossett. Now, Venser and Entreat the Angels could change some things. We'll take a look at Entreat the Angels here.
Yeah, that could be an important one. If Joe's able to just churn out 2 or 3 or 4 Angels.
It does cost white, and he does have 2 white mana available in regards to the Miracle cost. Now, if you're Daryl, you're going to get back a Punishing Fire and shoot Joe. Give him a life and deal 2. We might have an upset brewing here. Not in this match, but the other one is Jonathan Orr is currently up a game over David Long. Charlotte Soltai up a game over Lands. A little unexpected. As Life and Loam is going to come back from Daryl Ayers' graveyard. He'll pay 2 life. This is a Life from the Loam. Stage. And Ghost Quarter. See what land he wants to play. Remember, he only gets to play 1 land a turn. There is a Ghost Quarter. Joe gonna spin. Gonna try to figure out the best time for Entreat the Angels, I think. Ghost Quarter you. Float a white. Draw a card. Maybe. Yes. All right. Reveal and treat the angels. All right.
Play the Entreat the Angels.
Yep.
Make a couple angels.
Yep.
Aptly named card.
Yes. And now he'll get to search with the Ghost Quarter. In order to do this, however, assuming Joe searches for another land, in order to do this, he would have to lose his top. Okay. All right, so basic island. Now,
Yep.
in Joe's hand right now, he does have a Force Will and a blue card, I believe. So he could counter something of Daryl's if he'd like. So
Yeah, you can take him off of Life from the Loam for a turn if he doesn't spend Boseiju to play it.
So what's interesting about this is a way for Joe to steal this one because Daryl is trying to play a game of solitaire.
Yeah, Joe found the Entreat the Angels very important here.
And Joe gonna draw. Didn't get a great look at that one. Here's an attack for 8, however. Daryl's gonna fall down to 8. And Daryl is going to return both punishing fires. Give Joe a little bit of life.
And Joe's asking me, do you want to deal 2 to me?
No, I'm okay.
Yeah, you kind of have a couple of angels, and I need this in my hand right now.
I think I'm all right. I do appreciate you asking, though.
That's a generous offer.
Yeah. Now, Daryl does have a Maze of Ith in hand that can take care of one of these angels, but Joe, oh, so the other card in Joe's hand is a Fencer. Right, okay. Draw Horizon Canopy. So Ayers might be in a little bit of trouble now.
Yeah.
Ghost Quarter is what he'd like to return. Terminus is the reveal.
Probably not going to see that one cast.
I doubt it. There's a Maze of Ith. Joe gonna pass the turn. I think it's Venser time. I think Joe's gonna win this game.
I think you're right.
Here's Venser. He's going to go after Maze. Yep, he's
Yep.
going to win this game. Joe Lossett's going to win game 1 here over Daryl Ayers. You see a little frustration on his face. Has miracles.
Yeah, it looked like he was in the driver's seat in that game.
It did. It looked like he was executing the game plan he wanted to, and a very timely, and I mean very timely, Entreat the Angels was found on top of Joe's deck because Joe was starting to run out of white sources.
Yeah.
And if that happens, we know he can't do anything to really interact with Daryl. So Daryl was not able to cut them all out, and as a result, he's up a game.
Yeah, that was literally the last possible turn.
Yeah. All right, sideboards is where we're going to go. We were going to start with Daryl, and we've seen the sideboard plan before. 4 Crows and Grip, 4 Tireless Tracker, 4 Chalice of the Void, an Ancient Grudge, a Molten Vortex, and a Bajuka Box. So talk to me about this one more time.
Looks like all the 4-ofs are going to come in. We saw it when he played Joe before, and then we saw it when he played against Gerard. All of these cards have looked very solid every time he's drawn them. So why change what's already working?
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you in that regard. We have seen Tracker be good. We've seen Grip be pretty good. We've seen Chalice be pretty good against Joe when they played earlier. So I think those are great options. Now for Joe, I'm curious if he's going to change anything up with 3 Flusterstorm, 2 Red Elemental Blast, 2 Back to Basics, 2 Moat, 2 Surgical Extraction, a Wear Terror, Kozilek's Return, and Engineer Explosives, and a Pyro Blast.
Yeah, we expect to see the back to basics, the surgical extractions, and the engineered explosive. The wear and tear is a little bit interesting. There are definitely targets. If he gets super lucky, he can get 2 targets out of Daryl with a card like that. But it's also kind of interesting. Joe knows that these tireless trackers are coming in, so he's got to decide if he wants to leave in some number of Terminus / Swords to Plowshares to deal with an early tireless tracker.
Yeah, he knows they're coming because of deck lists, but he also saw
Daryl bring them in. It happened to him.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that'll be a little bit interesting to see what Joe wants to do in that regard. So those are the options there for both players. And while they do sideboard and shuffle up, we're going to talk about the StarCityGames.com weekly sale.
Ooh.
Not a lot of time left for the weekly sale here this week, and it's going to end Monday at 10:59 a.m. That'll be your last chance to get 15% off select legacy and vintage singles like Sneak Attack, Thoughtseize, Mana Drain, Bayou, and a whole bunch more. StarCityGames.com is the place to go. Check it out. We'll have a new one for you tomorrow at 11 a.m. East Coast time.
You know I like a good sale.
Your cards are already in the mail.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
They'll
Thanks,
be there
babe.
soon. That's right. There you go. The wife, she knows.
Thanks, Star City.
No problem. That's why we're here.
Yep.
Got to keep Craig happy.
Yeah.
I know that.
That's what this whole thing is for.
We're going to learn a little bit more about Joe Lossett right now, who he has five wins in the SCG Tour, if memory serves, which is that's a lot of those. That's a lot of wins. 21 top 8s with 5 Ws. Did you know that most of them are in standard, though?
I didn't.
Yeah, 4 of them are in standard, oddly enough. You think that all of his wins would just come with miracles, but that's not the case for the 37-year-old from Redlands, California. 4 standard wins, and I think I've called most of them. I've been surprised by a couple of them.
Now, Redlands, California, is that like a 20, 30-minute drive from here?
That's a little ways away, about an hour drive.
Yeah, oh, an hour drive.
About an hour drive.
Okay.
Yeah. But he finds a way.
The traffic's probably not too bad.
It's manageable.
Yeah.
It's manageable. He loves himself some StarCraft 2, varsity rower at the University of Colorado as well for the member of Team Nerd Rage Gaming. And he's currently up a game against a matchup and a player that he lost to earlier in the day. Daryl Ayers did slice and dice his way through Joe much earlier in the day. Down a game now, though. You saw the frustration at the end of that game. He thought he was going to have that one, and then Entreat plus Venture kind of stole it.
Yeah, I mean, he was clearly on the game plan of closing off the white sources again. Mm-hmm. And on the turn, he was getting rid of Joe's second white source on the board. Joe had the Entreat on top of his deck.
The thing that's interesting, too, is that game is a world of difference if Daryl has an Exploration.
Oh, yeah.
Or a Mana Bond, like we've seen so many times.
Yeah. So, Joe countered the Exploration with a Force Will early in the game. It looked like it was really limiting the number of resources Joe had left to work with. He had almost no cards in his hand after that, but it was definitely the right move. If Daryl had 2 lands to work with every turn of the game, Joe would have had no lands in play real quick.
Feels like that's when Lossett did steal, but his deck is capable of such things, so that's why you put those cards in your deck.
Well, and you got to make the right decisions, too.
Totally true. So Daryl almost got the sleeper hold all the way in.
Yeah.
But it was when the ref was lifting the arm up for the third one, and Joe said, I'm not done yet. I'm still alive. And he pulled all the way through.
Well, I think an angel leaned over the top ropes and smacked Daryl in the back of the head with a metal chair.
Yeah. You laugh, but that will probably be a WWE storyline soon.
Yeah.
Someone in an angel costume. Bang!
Angel on one side, distracting the ref.
That's right.
Angel on the other, steel chair.
And Vencer comes in for the win. It does. Vencer bouncing that Mace with Joe. For as much miracles as he plays, he's always stood by this build of the deck. A lot of people cut the creatures immediately, and he never has. He's always had Snapcaster, Vendilion, and even Vencer, which most people critique him for. He's always played 2.
Yep.
He says in corner case situations and with Caracas, it is a really nice card to have.
Well, and with all the deck manipulation, the times when those cards aren't good, they just get shuffled away. He doesn't have to draw them.
Grove of the Burn Willows is where Daryl will start, and he's just going to pass the turn back over to Joe. Both players will keep 7. Can't give Daryl this title just yet. He's got to get through one hell of a player if he wants to earn it.
Let's just give it to him.
Oh,
I'd like my predictions to be right.
Oh, right. You're trying to go 7-0 here, right.
We've already talked about how this is all about me.
A Sensei's defining top here for Joe off of Basic Isle. He's down to 19 from the Flooded Strand. Windswept Heath. It's going to bring Daryl down to 19 as well. They're all tied up. And it'll be a Basic Forest for Mr. Ayers. We'll see what comes next. Slow start here for Daryl. No Mox Diamond.
It looked like there was one in his hand, but we're probably seeing more patient play out of him. He has a gamble. It looks like he has a crop rotation, and he's just not in a real hurry to play any of these cards.
Well, there's your chalice for one. Joe going to spin the top on his upkeep. And now he'll draw a card. Arid Mesa passed the turn back. Harris has drawn a loam.
That's not a bad one.
There are worse. Mox Diamond. Discard Dark Depths. And now he'll try to play alone, get these lands back. That'll work. Heath and Depths back to the grip. Is it time to gamble? No, he's just going to play Depths, pass the turn back. Maybe start to threaten stage right away here.
Yeah, just having the Dark Depths on the board, Joe has to be cautious all the time.
We'll get 10 ice counters on that Dark Depths here.
I sure hope so.
Yeah. or that card's too good. That's what that means.
All right, Arid Mesa finding a dual land. We've seen this before where Joe wants the blue sources, but can't search up basics because their Mesa doesn't get a basic island.
And he might just want the reds. Well, excuse me. He's not one of the Miracles players playing Blood Moon. I take that back.
Correct. Back to basics.
Back to basics is his 3-mana enchantment of choice. Now here's a counterbalance.
It's a good one.
Yep. Basic plains.
Chalice of the Void on one side. At some point I expect to see counterbalance on the other.
Me too. Here's a Vendilion Click. All right. Tracker, Crop Rotation, Gamble, Mox Diamond, and a Windswept Heath. To note, Crop Rotation and Gamble, not great when you have a Chalice for 1.
Turned off right now.
Yep.
I don't think Joe's going to take either of those.
I think you're right about that.
He's a sharp cookie. Yeah, Tireless Tracker.
Yeah. To the bottom it goes. Time to dredge a loan. And a 1. A 2. A 3. No lands. All spells. Another Mox. Discard. Windswept Heath. Now he's just going to cast a loan to get back the Heath. Both loans in the graveyard. Pass the turn back. It's an anemic start here for Ayers.
Yeah, he hasn't found any of the lands that really impact the board.
Lossett serving in.
Yeah, and Joe with this quick Vendilion Click is right where he wants to be.
And Joe has a Surgical Extraction in hand.
That's not very good against the Chalice of the Void.
True. Good point.
But Joe does have the two-pronged attack of Jace and Vendilion Click.
Joe going to brainstorm here. Force of Will among the cards he's looking at now. 2 cards will go back. Looks like Source of Plowshare is going to be 1.
And this is just your average Planeswalker.
Should be reprinted for Standard.
Well, it wasn't good enough, so they had to tack a 4th ability on there.
Well, people think Smuggler's Copter's too good, so, we should give him this. Molten Vortex, Dark Depths.
You don't need to convince me. I'm on board.
And a Wooded Foothills.
Because that Standard format was so diverse.
What's it do if you're Daryl Ayers? You're in some trouble now. You are definitely in some trouble. Gonna sacrifice a fetch land. There's a Taiga. Jason Vendilion Clicker staring you down.
Yeah, and he's probably sided out a lot of the cards that are answers to these types of problems.
Here's Loam. Get back a couple of lands.
We've talked about how he won't want a bunch of Mazaviths in his deck anymore.
For sure.
The Punishing Fires don't seem great against this deck. I doubt they're in the deck anymore.
3 more. Ayers down at 12.
It's looking good for Joe. He's up a game. He's got these threats on the board.
He's got a Force Will as protection.
Yeah, I'm just glad I picked Joe to win the match.
Joe gonna Fate Seal himself. Daryl's made it look so easy so far this weekend.
Yeah.
Here's a counterbalance. Joe is making it look pretty easy on his end right now. Saying, you've had a good tournament, but I've had good years of tournaments here. Dredge the Loam. Cast the Loam. Gonna get back Wasteland and Wooded Foothills. Joe's gonna spin the top here, see if he can find a 2-mana spell. Worth noting now at this point, the whole kill your white lands thing, we're not doing that.
No, that's not the game plan anymore.
That's not a thing right now. Loam going to resolve. Wasteland going to come on down.
I mean, he might do it in the absence of anything else to do with his lands.
Yeah, but that game plan looks to be out the window right now.
Yeah, Daryl really wants to make a 2020 that gets plowed.
Yeah, actually, yes, he would like that.
Yeah,
and but that can't happen because of
Chalice.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a 2020 that it gets to attack then.
Yeah. Well, Joe's going to come down with the Caracas here.
Yep, that solves that problem.
Yeah. Well, Daryl does have the Wasteland, of course, but Daryl going to go down to 8. Taiga. Don't ring the bell too early. It's not over yet.
Yeah, who rang that bell?
That may have been me.
Okay, don't kick that plug out of the wall.
Yeah. All right, Life in the Loam Dredge. Ghost Quarters 1. Grove is 2. That's mean stage is 3. Joe wants to take a look.
Yep, that stage is pretty important.
Yep. Now, what's interesting about the sideboard plan here from Daryl, I don't know how many punishing fires he has after sideboard.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of the cards that leaves.
Yeah, I mean, if he's citing in the full 4 copies of each of his sideboard cards, which we think he is, that's a lot of cards that need to come out of the main deck.
Yep.
So I would guess that the punishing fire just gets cut altogether. If there are any extraneous copies left in his deck, it's got to only be 1.
Yeah. Hardcast Force of Will. I mean, we might have to see him take a draw step to try to spike a stage? I don't know.
Well, there's a little misstep there because he could have used the Wasteland on the Caracas, which he's going to need to do anyway, and then Joe could not have hardcast the Force of Will. Now, we know Joe has more blue cards in his hand. A lot of them cost 1, and Daryl's probably thinking the same thing. But with the way the game's playing out, you want to Wasteland him there and just make him have it.
Daryl down to 5 from Dillian Click. Dillian Click's been doing this since turn 3. Joe's going to brainstorm now.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised to see Joe turn off the ultimate Jace game plan.
Sure, the Fate Seal.
Yeah. But I guess he's saying, I'm going to get through the cards that I need and just finish the game in 2 turns.
Okay.
It's going to be over.
Pass it back.
And obviously, if he's able to put a 2-drop on top of his deck with the Jace.
That's probably it.
Yeah. Then the counterbalance is countering the life from Loam.
Daryl going to dredge a Loam. He'd like to recast a Loam. Those are the targets for the Loam. Does it resolve?
And I like how the 2 mana sources for Daryl just haven't been untapped.
Well, we know who we are
Yeah.
at this point. Joe is going to spin top. Is there a 2-mana spell? If there is, he might be moving on to the finals.
Yeah.
He's going to sacrifice Flooded Strand. So the answer right now is no, but the answer could be yes in just a second. That's a volcanic island. And it is spin to win, as they say.
Let's see it.
Yeah.
Come on, Joe. Let's see it.
There's the island. Spin to win. Not winning yet. Well, Force of Will is helpful.
Yep.
Daryl's going,
Oh, it looks like he has a Venture in his hand.
oh, boy. Draw a card. Force, remove Brainstorm. Joe going to fall down to 16. And if it is Venser, 3 + 2 is still 5.
Still 5.
Still 5.
We're still strong at the very simple math.
The basic math
Yeah.
is really where I excel. That's why I like to attack for 2.
I mean, if we got up past 10,
It's tough.
we've run out of fingers.
That's tough.
That's what you have a co-caster for. Another set of hands.
Calculator on my phone. It's important.
There it is.
And that is
Yep.
going to do it. Joe Lossett going to win this match here over Daryl Ayers, 2-0. Gets to get a little bit of revenge from his earlier loss. He is moving on to the finals to play against the winner of David Long and Jonathan Orr. Impressive stuff from Joe coming all the way back there.
Yeah. Just very composed. You know, showed a lot of poise.